Why are the items you check in the I want to be in column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
The items in the I want to be column in application 1 is important for me to work toward because I am not capable of some of the given traits there, and I want myself to know myself deeper so that I can achieve those good traits.
Why are the items you checked in the I want to be column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
It's important because it may help me in improving myself to be a better person.
Why are the items you check the I want to be column in application 1 is important for you to work toward?
To achieve our personal goals and make ourselves truly happy, we need to develop and maintain our self-confidence and self-respect.
Why are the items you check in the I want to be column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
I want to engage to other people so that I can socialize to them and gain more friends.
The second question is, what are the items you check in I want to be column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
I check the item enjoy being with most people because I am a introvert kind of person. I don't like socializing with others, and I'd rather choose to be alone and working alone than asking help of others. And I always want to be, like what I said, always wanted to be alone because being alone is my comfort zone, and I can think more things. I can think more outside of the box if I am alone, and I am a independent kind of person, and I don't like asking help from other people. That's why.
Why are the items you check in the I want to be column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
I think I am. Because I want to enhance my personality.
Why are the items checked in the I want to be column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
They are important because if I could completely work toward these traits and characteristics, I could be a better version of myself.
Number 2. Why are items you check I want to be column in application 1 for you to work toward?
To improve my personality or to upgrade myself a new, a better version of me.
Okay, for the next question, why are the items you checked in the I want to be column in application 1 important for you to work toward?
I check the I want to be sometimes to be inferior with my peers because sometimes they misunderstand it for that I am sometimes bossy and I am superior, but for me it's not really that I am bossy or superior. For me, I'm just giving my ideas and they misunderstood it because sometimes when I say they thought that I am mad or I'm really pushing my ideas, but for me that's just how I speak, or that's just how I talk to people. I talk to people when we are talking about business or when we are talking about serious things like making our performance task. So I think they misunderstood it sometimes, and so I want to change myself because sometimes and I want to be inferior for them to. I want them to look at me as inferior sometimes, and I don't want them also to look at me as inferior always.
Why are the items you check in the I want to be column in application important for you to work toward?
It is important for me to work towards it because I often get criticism for being lazy. But what people do not know about me is that I can do things that I know that I can achieve. But I always refuse because I do not like being recognized by a lot of people.
Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback you felt unfair. How did you respond to this feedback? What could you have to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
The feedback that I felt was unfair was when the coach of a speaking contest told me that my eyes look sharp. She said that I look angry in the camera. So, how did I respond to this feedback? I just smiled and I absorbed her feedback. And what could what could you have to make the criticism a positive motivation for you? I will just take it into the positive side, and I will change my ways and I will be more sensitive of my expression. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback that you felt was unfair. How did you respond to this feedback? What could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
I accepted these feedbacks, and I made this as an inspiration and motivation to make myself better and good.
Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback that you felt was so unfair.
At the age of 18, I already get married.
How did you respond to this feedback?
I just ignore it.
What could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
I proved them that my decision being married at the age of 18 is still worth it because I still have a fruitful and successful family.
Thank you. Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you are received feedback that you felt was unfair. How did you respond to this feedback? What could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
One situation that I received a negative feedback is when I was in grade 10 when I joined a newscasting competition. I know in myself that every time I was in stage, and every time I was in front of other people, I always having cold feet. I always shaking, and I'm getting too nervous, and I don't have that confidence in myself. So people criticize me of being that kind of person. Then they said that I was not supposed to be on that stage, and that moment I told myself that I should work harder, I should improve myself, I should prove them that they are wrong, and that's what I'm working right now. And I used to expose myself and a lot of stages. That's why I'm doing hosting in school, and I think that's also a great practice for me. That's the first step that I can do to improve and to do my goals and to reach my dreams, which is to be a good newscasting. And of course, like what I've said, like what motivated me, I want to prove those people who criticize me that they're wrong, and that's all.
Thank you.
Sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback that you felt was unfair. How did you respond to this feedback? What could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
I think the feedback I received from others to me is about my attitude, because others think that
Ay, alam ko na. Amo, niglang
bad
kinatos
personality
mo.
or whatever. So I want to show them, and I want how I am, how I really I am. And to show them that I have a good side.
Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback that you felt was unfair. How did you respond to this feedback? What could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
I've been told that I lack time management when it comes to balancing my studies and my sport, which is tennis. I balanced this and know my priorities. As of now, I could only say that I can manage my time well.
Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as just. Think a situation in which you receive feedback that you think unfair. Did you, how did you respond for the feedback? What could you have done to make criticism a positive motivation for you?
Yeah. Some people say that I cannot finish schooling due to poverty of our family. But when we are in the province before, but all of the hurtful feedback that I have been received from them, I make it as my motivation. I know myself, and I, even if our family was suffering from a poverty, will not let that things to drag me down. The only things that I was in my mind is to pursue my dream, no matter what. And there is no and faith to God, they will reach it. They will have it.
Thank you
Okay.
so much for your cooperation for our interview about personal development.
Welcome, Adiji.
Thank you so much.
Okay, the third question is, feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback that you felt was unfair.
um, that time when we are about to meet for because I planned that meeting for them to come and then for us to talk about our PT in earth science because we are making a movie. And I waited for too long because of them because they did not come as early as possible as they can, and I got mad. So I think because of that madness, I told them that I think guys we should participate to this and we should cooperate to this. And I told them that we should be serious this time in making this PT. So again, they took it for like I am mad to them and I am so bossy and I am so superior. But for me, I think it's really not because I'm just really stating my feelings. I am expressing my feelings to them how mad I am because I waited for too long and that they arrived very late. So I got mad, and then the next morning, they're like, they given me this silent treatment. So in that point, I already know that they are talking behind my back. They are talking about what happened yesterday. That I am like this bossy and superior. So
Yes, how did you respond to this feedback?
at first, I gave them also a silent treatment because I'm really not that person that I I always confront whenever there is something that came up. But that time I really can't take it because we really have to be serious in this project. So we can't make a better project. We can't make a better performance test when we are fighting and we're giving this silent treatment to each other. So I talked to them and asked them what are your problem with me, and I also told them my problems with them, and then we reconcile and accept apologies, and then we're good. Yes.
Okay. So what could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
You know, most of the criticisms are negatives, but if you take that criticism as positive to yourself, from negative to positive, that positive criticism will take you to a better place, and that positive criticism will help you, will help motivate yourself to be a better person, to change yourself to be a better person, or at least change your attitude to be a better person.
Okay, so that's the last question. Thank you, Bernie.
Thank you. Feedback is sometimes hurtful or perceived as unjust. Think of a situation in which you received feedback that you felt was unfair. How did you respond to this feedback? What could you have done to make the criticism a positive motivation for you?
I always get a feedback on how much I gained weight this year. I usually just shrug it off and just be confident about myself because the numbers on the scale that appeared does not define who I am as a person, and they have no idea what I am going through.